They thought ugly people can get a job on radio. They put a camera.
And
Yeah,
you sure wasn't all your glory, but they could see you.
my intention this morning was to be at the museum and interview people, but they don't open that early. I had said yesterday, I asked the man, but he said he doesn't open until 9, because I said it would be beautiful to have you all, to speak with you all, and we could talk about the history of Martin Luther King and so on, live on a radio station. I said, wouldn't that be one? He said, yeah, that'd be wonderful. But they don't open till 9, so that plan failed. So here I am. Paul, you found out about Blue Flame yet? Adande is insisting that you check it out.
Would he care to just say what it's about and finish?
He has, but I can't say it on radio.
Why you can't say it on radio? Is it a place of ill repute?
No, ill repute, is there such a thing?
Is it a place of adult entertainment? Is that it?
What does he say? Let me see what he said.
Why you can't say it on the radio?
Oh God, no. He sent that message on the same phone that I'm on. So I was only able to look at it after. I'll find it and send it to you after 9.
So you can only do one thing on a device at a time.
You know why? Because I realized when I try to do other things whilst I'm on this feed, the feed drops.
So you can only focus on one part at a time.
Yep.
Like,
really, a lot of people prefer it that way.
Ragoobarsingh, we get the results.
I don't know.
So a poll this morning was, should the mask mandate be lifted in Trinidad and Tobago? We had 29 people voting on the poll this morning.
Philip said no.
We had 30 people voting on the poll this morning. No, the mask mandate should not be lifted. And 10 people say to hell with all, they lift it.
You know what's amazing about that?
Mm.
That'd be interesting. The people who wear the mask, if they wear it properly.
That's the next thing. Paul, why are you recording audio in the news group?
I am doing it again.
Yes.
I don't know why that keeps happening, to be very
I
honest.
don't know. That's
happening.
quite funny, though. All right. So our link is up, so you can join us on our stream this morning. Paul will tell you exactly what we're going to do if you give problems.
Where did you put the link?
It's right here on the YouTube channel, which you should have subscribed to by now.
Right, so you can subscribe to the YouTube channel and you can hit notifications, so you'll get notified, when we are up and running on YouTube. All shows on Power 102 when they're on YouTube, because the afternoon drive also does it. So you can subscribe and also click the notification button. The link is now up once you're joining us on YouTube, so you can just click on the link and you'll be let in and we'll be able to see you. And we can speak with you in this hour on the Power Breakfast Show on Power 102 Digital.
And we can't
If
see
you
you,
do
but
decide
yeah.
to access that link, please ensure that your original audio feed is either turned off or reduced completely,
Yeah.
so we don't get the disturbances we got last week.
Yeah. So you'll see
You'll
Power
notice
102 FM, you'll see Zoom link, just click on it.
Mhm.
All right? Be part of our show.
So what is this Blue Flame, Wendell?
I tell you, it's on this. I have to go and find it. Let me
Nande
Google
send it to me.
Google it myself, huh?
Yeah. And
And why you can't talk about it on the radio? We're
Huh?
not adults.
Yeah, but we have some trainers.
So children know that there's entertainment only for adults.
Okay. All right. I now see what it is, Paul. You're right, it is adult. 1097 Harwell Road, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia.
Was this stripper club?
It says we are the first black adult entertainment club in Atlanta, operating since 1983. How? You must be a U.S. citizen, 18 years and older. Why you can't be a citizen of anywhere else? It says you must be a U.S. citizen, 18 years of age or older. It's a membership place. Yeah, it's a membership.
Well, Dan, it seems so sample. Is that Dan, they're a U.S. citizen?
Apparently he is.
Probably is. Okay.
All right. But we are taking your calls as well while we
I'm
wait
sure
for
you
people
could.
to join us.
I'm sure you could get a buddy pass for you, Wendell.
Who's that?
A dandy, if you pass for you.
Have you ever heard the definition of what a buddy is? Definition of a buddy?
Something you do have sleeping next to you these days.
Ow. Ooh.
No, a buddy is someone who will go down the road and get a particular service and come back and give it to you. That's the definition of a buddy. That's what a buddy will do.
Good morning, Wendy Ann.
Mm.
Your
Good morning,
mic
Wendy
is
Ann.
still
Good
muted,
morning,
Wendy
Ray
Ann.
Ray.
Your mic
Hey,
is
my
muted.
camera is off.
I told you that, yeah.
Wendy Ann, I hope you sorted your sorters this week, yeah?
You know, I can't see anybody.
We still
I
can't
know.
hear you.
Wendy Ann, your mic is muted.
Still muted. Sorted your sorters this week.
All right, there you go. Good morning, Wendy Ann.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Wendell.
Wendy
Hi.
Ann, you still have the same issue you had last week?
No,
Could you
I
turn off
turned
the original?
No, you have to.
God, he like a bad principal.
Good
Yes,
morning,
we're still hearing
Steve.
it, Wendy Ann.
Hey, Wendy Ann, we are hearing our stream coming up on your system just like last week.
Could
You
sort
probably
it out,
have the.
please?
You probably have. I think Wendy Ann. I think you have the.
The window for
probably-
the original feed open.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah, you
stop
probably have it
YouTube,
on
Wendy
the web,
Ann.
and you're also on YouTube. You have to turn off the web completely.
All right. All right, so let's get some folks on like how Wendy Ann is. Please, we are begging you to mute your audio devices when calling back. All right. So
Yep.
we do have a call.
You
Let's
can
grab
join
this
us,
call by
and
the
we
time.
can see you live on the Zoom, and you can interact with us.
Yeah.
So you can feel free to join us. Click on the Zoom link. Don't be afraid. We don't bite.
Yeah, some of us. Good morning.
Hey, morning, Richard Ragoobarsingh, Paul Richard, Steve, and Wendell.
Mr. Patrick.
I heard you talking about our history here. We understand the history of Atlanta, Georgia, boy. You can remember the song Georgia on My Mind?
Yes.
You know why that song was sung? You know, Georgia is was a very racist place. You know
Mhm.
that? And when they say the first black, because they couldn't open black entertainment in Georgia at all. You understand?
Yeah.
Martin Luther King and them fellas and them had was a march and do all kind of thing outside it. When we listen to the news with this white supremacist young boy, 18 years, went and shoot down black people outside it. That was the history across there.
Yeah.
My friends live in Georgia. They say the property them very huge, but they're very cheap too.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is.
So people don't understand the history of certain places. Because it's on Georgia on my mind. Any guy went across it to sing, they put him out the country, they tell me can come and sing here.
Yes.
You know that, right?
Yes.
A
So
lot of
right,
people don't know
right
the-
opposite, right opposite where Martin Luther King grew up. There's a park. There was a park, and he used to see the white children playing across there, and he wanted to go across and play, and he couldn't go, and he used to sit in his porch and wonder why he couldn't play with the white children. Well, that park is still there. It's an empty space that someone bought and left it empty. It's the
Yeah,
only
because-
place that doesn't have a building on it, because the person
Because of
wanted
the
to.
history. A lot of people don't know this place, but Georgia, all them places, what Chicago and where Martin Luther King them had serious protests. We still see the thing going on.
Yeah.
So when is racial thing will finish, boy? When it will end? Nice.
Never.
I listen.
Never in here.
I listen. Biden, President Biden say racialism is a poison.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to Ingrid. Good morning,
Good morning to Beauty
Culture.
Culture, who is joining us on the YouTube.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Happy
Morning.
Friday to you all.
Yes, Friday the weekend. Woohoo!
Yes, the weekend has begun. I would like to discuss the potholes that are opposite, right outside of West Shore.
Oh my goodness,
That is
yes.
getting worse. And I would not like a sinkhole to occur like what we had that the Holy Week. So I think they need to look at it. It's getting worse every day.
That's a bad
So-
pothole.
And it's getting worse. So
Yeah.
I would not like a sinkhole to happen and for us to experience the type of traffic we had in Holy Week. So, WASA, Ministry of Works, please get on the ball.
Yeah.
Where
Where is that? You said?
Where is
That
this
is
pothole?
West Shore.
The entrance to West Shore, westbound on that Western Main Road, it's terrible. It is
Yeah.
terrible. I tell you, they
So-
need to take duty and taxes off car parts, you know. They
And
do.
last you went west when, Steve?
I was there. I passed there 2 nights ago.
Wondering.
Where you was
you
going?
know?
I had a
Listen.
delivery to do.
Ingrid,
But
good morning on the YouTube channel.
Dog food.
Ingrid from Tucson.
Nichols in BVI listening. Good morning. I saw somebody posted in the group a schedule of the local government cleanup.
Yeah, I put it
Could we share it with the audience, please? I think they said Sama Barataria is the 28th and the 29th. It's so zigzag. I don't, there's no rhyme or reason as to where they're going what weekend. So you really have to see it listed to know where it's coming, because you can't just presume, well, because it's in East today, not in South or Central tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's in Arima, sometime at the close to the end of June.
All right.
But the Minister of
Alright.
Local Government has new budget now, so
Yeah.
So he has a budget. He has a budget specifically for roads too.
He does.
$100 million specifically for roads.
Yeah. Good morning, Gavara. Good morning, Akash Singh. He says, look at the road heading to Maracas.
it's
Not
the
Cake
roads
says,
alone.
wasn't he shooting last weekend in Buffalo? It was. All right. Of course, you can join us. Our link is on. All right, next on our YouTube. Go to YouTube. You'll see the link to join us on Zoom.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead.
Why is it when Farris is minister they give the 100 million for it? Why they couldn't give it when Kazim was there?
We didn't have high oil and gas prices. There was not a Ukraine-Russia war at the time Kazim Hussein was there, okay?
Oh, PR. PR kicking
That
them.
was
Spending Kazim
paid
Hussein there.
and unpaid.
Actually, the talk of that road company was it predated Farris. Farris just fell into line with a lot of things that happened.
Wendell Stevens, nothing
Yes,
to
sir.
just fall into line in politics. Okay?
Well,
you know that.
Well, I guess he needed a good start because Kazim was there for what, 6 going on
Well,
7
Kazim
years.
didn't need a good start.
But Kazim had a good start when he started. He had a good start. It just fell away.
It
You
fell
know?
away.
Yeah. I just hope Faris Harari could do a lot more for local government reform than was done previously. You understand? Because since Franklin Canis, who started it as local government minister, it was going at a pace, and then it just fizzled away. And then so hopefully Faris Harari will actually get it done, because there's a local election
Farris
at the
fix
end
all
of
them,
this year.
all them non-performing mayor and them too.
Well, you know my take on that, right? Let people know up front who the mayor or chairman will be before the election. Let them know.
I know that Farris could fix all them non-performing mayor, you know.
But he can't fix them.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he can't fix them.
Or
But he could change them.
they're
You
trying to
change
make,
them?
or they're trying to make Farris super Farris, or they want to give
I
the
didn't
man
mean
a
after
cape.
this one.
You want to give the man a cape and tights.
But he had the tights already. He just need a cape now.
Oh, you know you have the tights already.
I see he was in a sports day with tights.
Yes. Yes.
Am I wrong, Wendell?
No, you're not wrong.
He was in a sports day with tights. I didn't see the cape, but I see the tights.
And a vest and posing.
Let's say good morning going on to Carol Guevara. Guy Small, good morning. Good morning, guys. Have a great weekend. We are seeing summer this weekend in Far Rockaway. Masura, good morning. Wayne Ramsey, good
Anne-Marie,
morning.
hello. And when you're on your back, you sort out your sort-outs?
Well, I hope so.
Yes.
No, you didn't.
Yes.
Am I wrong, Wendell?
No, you're not wrong.
No, you're not
Yeah,
sorting
Wendy
out
Ann, you
your-
didn't sort out your stories.
Oh, well,
You need to, Wendy Ann, bottom line, you need to stop all the audio that you have
Show started, you need to stop it.
Just stop that. Good morning,
Wherever
Wherever
everyone.
that is. Yeah, wherever that is. Yeah.
Go outside with your.
So, wait. Oh, and I was just started before people. I said, what happened to other people? They have no internet connection or what? Come on to the Zoom. We want to see people. We are fast that way. I see Anne-Marie is on.
Hi, good morning, and how are you all this morning?
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
And how are you this morning?
We are
Is that-
great because it's Friday. And then on
Right.
a Friday, we get in
Friday.
a great mood.
Is that Miss Maloney?
Anne-Marie walked too far from the
Yes,
house.
that
The
is very
Wi-Fi
good.
cutting
Yes.
out.
Yes, Wendell.
Hi,
Wendell, and I
morning,
am
Anne-Marie.
jealous of you because I have a cousin where I always go to.
In
So I am
Atlanta.
jealous right now. I'm not there. Of
Oh,
course, yes,
really?
they cater best.
Come up at the end of the month. They have carnival up here.
So, Anne-Marie, you've been to Blue Flame in Atlanta?
No, I haven't been, but I went to the same museum that Wendell went to. That was about in 2006. I was there. Yes.
All right, nice. A lot of this.
That's true, but not in the house. Yeah, I was there. It
A lot of
was
history.
great. But Wendell, you should go underground and watch how they make the Pepsi, man.
The Coca-Cola factory up here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been
Anne-Marie, he
there.
went underground,
Very
but not for the
nice.
Coca-Cola and the Pepsi.
I passed.
Hello?
I passed
You
by
passed
there
through?
yesterday.
Yes. It
Yeah.
was nice.
All
Anyway,
right.
you all have a blessed and wonderful
Nice to
weekend.
see
Wendell,
you. Same
have
to
fun
you.
and be safe.
All right.
Where's them thing
Nice
hang
to
up
put a
on the
face
line?
nice to put a face to you, Anne-Marie.
Where Anne-Marie? She gone? Where's them thing?
No,
Anne-Marie, where's
I'm
them thing
right
hang
there.
up on the line?
That is close. Been seen on my line,
It's
Wendell.
close, big so?
Yes.
Okay.
Out in the backyard. I run away from grandchildren this morning.
All right.
Anyway, you all take care and have a blessed day.
All right,
Yeah,
Anne-Marie.
bye-bye.
Anne-Marie.
All the best
Remember
to you. Have a great one.
Same to you.
All
Remember when they
righty.
used to call women clothespin sometimes long time.
Bye.
Oh dear, Richard.
Julia, Samantha, good
Am I
morning.
lying?
All right, Julia and Evans out of Morocco, St. Joseph, good morning. Doreen Pierre, good morning to you. Yeah. All right, who else we have online here?
Hi, Nyla.
Huh?
Nyla, what's happening? What's happening?
Oh, but Steve, I want to know where he doing the show from. I don't recognize that background.
Is this
Who's that,
Richard's
me?
sister?
Yes.
Whose background?
Yeah, I remodeled.
Lies. Yes, I'm Richard's sister.
Hi, Nyla.
Are you, well, I'm finally putting a face to Richard's sister, Nyla. How you going?
Doing
You
well,
shocked
doing
me
well.
coming into the Zoom then, Nyla.
Nyla, it's so glad to know that there's one good-looking person in the family, at least.
Yeah,
Well,
boy.
well, thank you, Mr. Richards. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, Nyla, tell us something very embarrassing about Richard when he was growing up. What's the first thing pop into your mind?
Well, he was always older than me, so I
He
mean,
still is. He's the oldest of all of us here, you know.
I know. I don't know. He was always a sickly child, so he was really always pampered and,
You were sickly?
yeah, he was. And my other brother and I used to get in all the trouble. He was the golden child.
No. That's why you keep misunderstanding
that
the time
is
now.
a lie.
Oh, okay.
So
In other
explains
words,
a lot,
That is
Nyla.
a blatant untruth.
That is another way of saying Richard was a spoiled little
A
brat.
spoiled child.
Spoiled brat.
He
The
was.
eldest
so
is never
extreme.
spoiled. The youngest is always spoiled. And guess who's the youngest?
Not you.
Nyla.
The youngest and the only girl. So,
Yeah, a double whammy.
yes.
But how are you, Nyla?
It's a rainy day here in Pennsylvania, but
Yeah. We asked our morning poll this morning if we should get rid of our mask mandate. What do you think about that?
we've gotten rid of it here, of course, in the United States for a while. I think in certain situations it's okay, but we are seeing the numbers up. So although I have been lax, I have to say, in keeping my mask on, I've started back kind of wearing it again because I can see the numbers going back up in our county.
I'm seeing that as well across the U.S.
Yeah, even
Oh,
even my
Nyla,
daughter-
something to show you.
yeah,
Go and get it.
even my daughter's school yesterday, they sent us an email and they stopped just short of saying they're starting back the mask mandate.
Mm.
So it's happening, you know.
Yeah. I think using the mask in a crowded space is something that is advisable still.
Yes.
But I can't see myself walking the road or driving about and using a mask. I can't see myself doing it at all.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But do you think it should be lifted in Trinidad?
I think it's based on, I would say no, because to me, Trinidad is so densely, you know, it's a lot of people in a very small space, no matter where you go. But the fact is people are going to do it anyway, as long as the infrastructure is there so that you can handle a rise in cases, you can handle a rise in hospitalizations. I feel like I'm not confident with Trinidad's ability to handle the hospitalizations based on Richard's reports or even listening to you guys on the radio. So, you know,
I like what you say based on Richard's reports.
And she said, and you guys
Yes.
talking on the radio.
Yeah.
So that would concern me about, you know, is the hospital, you know, what is the protocol for treating patients in Trinidad? You know, there's a very defined protocol in the States. Step 1 is this, step 2 is this. Yeah. So for that reason, I would say no. But I think we have, you know, as a, you know, I'm trained as a scientist, and we eventually are going to have to learn how to live with it.
Exactly.
That's it.
So did his passion for acting come about because he was sickly and was always playing with him or playing by himself? Let me rephrase that.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe so.
He was a lonely child then. Nobody would play with him.
Did he pretend to cry and be sad and so on?
Probably so. I remember well, you know, my mom named him Perry after Perry Mason, who was a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember this conversation, but he always tells me that he used to tell our mom that he wanted to be an actor, and she used to say, well, you need something to fall back on. So apparently lawyering is his fallback job.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, you know, whether she knew it or not, you know, naming him Perry after Perry Mason did play a role, I guess, in him becoming a lawyer. I don't know.
Richard Ragoobarsingh, this is your life.
You know,
That's a good one. I haven't heard that. This is your life.
Nyla, did he run about the house without pampers and thing back?
No, he was never that type. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No.
Nyla, let me ask you something. Since you're in the U.S., when last?
Now then, Nyla?
Huh?
Why is he doing it now?
Well, you know, Wendell, as you get older, your brain, you know, dementia starts to set in, you know.
And
I rebuke you.
And the alcohol.
And the alcohol does things to your brain cells. So who knows? Who knows?
That's why he forgets a lot. But Nyla, before you go, when last you saw this?
What's that, doubles?
How you mean in a brown bag?
Actually, I had doubles.
That long ago, huh?
Maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So I work at a university, and one of my students is from Queens. Her parents are Trinidadian. She's born in America, and she's from Queens. And before she left campus, her mom came to pick her up, and the mom brought me some doubles.
Excellent.
Oh, great, man.
Look at you spoiled rotten.
Don't be
So
a
I
straight
did get
man.
some doubles, but
There you
It's great
go.
having these anecdotes about Mr. Ragoobarsingh.
I know, but let's also bring in. Hang on one second, Myra.
Oliver Manwaring. Thank
Yeah,
you for being patient.
Oliver, morning. You muted, Oliver. Unmute. There
Hey,
you go.
morning, guys. Morning.
Morning, Oliver Manwaring. How you doing?
Not bad at all.
Where you camera do?
Why Oliver looking like a statue, sir?
Yeah, where's your camera? You
Why
have to
looking
put your
like
camera on, Oliver.
A statue.
Emily,
It's his
that's
picture.
Okay.
yeah, put your camera on
Why
too.
not?
There you go.
Yeah.
Carrying tons of ice cream in the back of that vehicle, I'm sure.
The car empty right now. I just reached to work.
Oliver dropped some ice cream at the Pet Butler a couple of weeks ago. Man, that thing, we licked that up big time.
He did?
Even not we lick it up, you lick it up.
We
Exactly.
Dina and myself lick it up.
You lick it up.
All right. Dina had one. I had the other four. I had the other. That was delicious, Oliver. Thank you so much for that.
Most welcome, man.
So, Oliver, do you think we should
welcome.
drop the mask mandate in Trinidad and Tobago?
Definitely not.
So you on the road every day?
I'm on the road every day, number one. And number two, there are a lot of people out there that are high risk. My daughter being one. My daughter has she has done 2 open heart surgeries.
Wow.
What?
And yeah, she has done 2 open heart surgeries in her life. And with that, her resistance level is very low, very, very low. You know, so I support the mask wearing all the way.
Okay.
All the way. Yeah.
All right.
Because there are other children like her, and not just children.
Question for both you, first Nyla and then Oliver. Of course, you both have been hearing about these horrendous cases of child abuse and the, the reports from 1997. What do you think about that? Do you think those persons should be held accountable, or they should go after them, even at this stage?
Yes, I think we need to know. I am not certain that anything will come out of it in terms of anyone being charged or held accountable, but I think we need to know.
Yeah.
Nyla?
I think we as a nation need to know.
yes, I think I think accountability is always necessary in those cases. It just saddens me because I feel like as a country we don't value children. And you know, I've had this conversation with Richard. I had to change the way that I parent, right? Because your instinct is to do what was done in your childhood. And, you know, obviously we yell a lot in Trinidad and buff a lot. And so as I've had children, you know, I've had to learn to change that method. But I think our policies in Trinidad don't protect children enough. And I don't know what is the easy fix, but I think something has to be done because it's like nobody cares what I mean, obviously you guys care, but I mean, like the system doesn't react quickly enough to me to situations where children are involved. And you have to, you know, you have to be proactive rather than reactive.
But do you think we make the connection in Trinidad and Tobago about our approach to parenting, let me put it that way in a broad sense, and approach to what some of us describe as discipline, because not everyone describes physical interaction with your child as discipline, and the types of interactions we have as adults, in some cases, dysfunctional?
I think it is related, for sure. because violence breeds violence, right? And if the only way you know to solve a problem is through some kind of violent means, then that's, as you grow up as an adult, that's what you're going to do, because you haven't learned conflict resolution, and you haven't learned that, you know, people could be mad at each other but resolve things in a calm way. So I think it is all connected to why we see such violence in the country and why we see such disregard for women and children, especially.
Oliver, what do you think?
Yeah, just as Nyla said, and I will also add that, you know, I believe that the generation today, the parents today that we have, they are part of the old school parenting, most of the parents today. And, you know, the old school parenting is everything was physical. Everything was physical correction. They didn't know much of grounding and take away this from you and take away that from you. So, you know, it was passed on, because I had that same problem, I have to say, with my wife. You know, her method of correction is physical. My method of correction, I have been not sexually but physically abused by my stepfather while growing up. Right, my mom died at 10, when I was 10. Sorry, and it was hard for me to readapt in life, and I decided that my method of correction will not be physical. I decided that my method of correction will be things like takeaway, or you know, a different form of punishment. You know, technically, it's just a different form of punishment rather than physical. And I personally believe it doesn't always have to be physical. It doesn't have to be physical because it could play on you mentally. Yeah.
And I guess the different people have different impressions on what their limits are. And that's where the problem comes in. The problem is you can't say, well, only do this or only do that. Is either we're allowing it or we're not allowing it. Because your impression of reasonable may be way different to my impression of reasonable. So standing kneeling down on a grater in the hot sun with two big stones in the air in your hand is abuse.
That is abuse. Paul, I've been through that.
That's abuse.
I have been through
and
that.
Your knees bleeding, right? or a guava whip straight across your buttocks is abuse.
I have been beaten with the gas hose, the hose for your gas tank from your stove. Wow. I had my stepfather, we had German Shepherd, and back then was purebred German Shepherd, right? And he knew that I was afraid of the dogs. I still have a mark on my leg from one of the dogs where I was bitten, right? He would tie the chain around my waist and put me out in the hot sun. And when I am thirsty, after 2 hours, he will take a cup of water from the deep freezer and hand it to me. Now imagine you in the hot sun and you give me a cup of ice cold water to drink. That's what I've been through. So to me, you see, this abuse to children, it touches me. Physical abuse, I'm totally against it. It hurts me to see a woman get killed. It hurts me when I see men abuse women, because that's how my mom died. So these kind of things, it hurt me.
I was talking to a friend of mine who was a 17-year-old and a 5-year-old. And I mean, she's of a different mindset because I think she was also abused as a child. So that's what she knows. Jerry, hi. Hold a second. Jerry, you hearing us?
Morning.
Yeah. Yeah. And she pelts cuss at both children when she feels that they've crossed the line with their behavior. And so I said, but do you think that's the appropriate way? The classic response is, it happened to me and I grew up good, one. And two, they had to face that in the world anyway. Let them get accustomed to it from now.
I
it toughens them. So how do you begin to have that conversation with that person who is not even open to a different possible approach?
I think it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. And, you know, I think culturally, certain things are accepted in Trinidad, and we as Trinidadians accept it. I mean, and it's hard to change culture. That takes a long time. But I think the state can step in with some guardrails, right? Because in America, if I hit my child, she could call on her own to 911 and social services. Social services will step in immediately. Women in domestic violence situations, that's a problem worldwide, but in America, you could get a restraining order the same day. So I think the state, although they cannot step in and parent, or they cannot step into people's domestic relationships, they can certainly put some guardrails to try to protect the victims in those situations. Like here, the school we have, as working in a university or working in a special educational system, you have to go through training because the federal government identifies you as a man. As somebody who is interacting with that student, you have to report it legally, you're entitled to report it. So I think starting there, because obviously schools will see abuse on children probably more than anybody else. Teachers will see that and maybe set up a system where they become mandatory reporters. So you can get that, again, being proactive rather than reactive. So I know it's going to be a long haul to do something like that, but I think as a nation, we have to move in that direction because the children are the future. And
has to be legal. Jerry, you care to turn on your camera for us? I know you're standing by there. Good morning and thanks for joining us, Jerry.
Morning, Jerry. How are you?
Good morning.
Morning. Where in the roads are you?
Yeah, correct.
And how's the traffic there this morning?
Good and lovely.
Oh, another stand-up comic.
That's as good as traffic can get, I guess.
Yeah.
Flowing.
But it also depends on what you're driving, eh? Depending on what you're driving, traffic doesn't bother you. So what do you think about it, Jerry? The discipline, the physical discipline, and I agree with Nyla, it won't change unless we change the laws.
Laws and culture. Two things quickly with that. I have two sons, 19 and 21, 22, 23. Yes, right, 23. And physical was never a part of our discipline. Never. I can tell anybody, one time I had my son was when he was 7 years old, and that's the bigger one. And I have no problems with them, but I think a lot of times on the discipline part of parents, consistency or lack of consistency is the biggest problem. One parent saying it, the other one saying that, that's not unified force. That's not that part. So I think the cultural change has to start happening from school to parenting, because they're training the children to be parents. So you have to tell them from now what's in schools, make that a part of the curriculum, make that a part of the mental training. What is violence? What is discipline? How it could be achieved without using violence. And on that note, yesterday the policewoman who was speaking, and just yesterday I tried to talk to another parent about sons and girlfriends were fighting literally 6 o'clock in the morning. Who threatened to kill who? So I said, well, why don't you go and report to the police? Or we started after around, where could we send this young couple, a 20-year-old and a 19-year-old, for counseling without it being a criminal offense? And it wasn't, we can't get nowhere. Well, off the top of our head, we can't say, all right, you're not married, but you're living common law, and you're fighting, threatening to kill one another, threatening to choke one another. Do we have to wait till they get violent and the police steps in to get help for them? Or is it a place that we can say, hey, go by social welfare on George Street and register to get counseling or to have mediation? And I think that is something that because it starts with those relationships. Because if child see mommy and daddy fighting and carrying on a certain way, that's what child would learn.
And I think that is the problem, Jerry. And I had this conversation with the Minister of Social Development just earlier this week, where we are waiting for people in trouble to go to the ministry, as opposed to the ministry training more social workers to go into the community. People in distressful situations or dysfunctional relationships
Yeah,
are
that's
not
it.
going to
It's
leave
supposed to
their
be easy
homes
access.
to go into social development offices for remediation. The, the, the state has to take the remediation to the family. Just go and find out, how are you doing? Are you okay? Do you have resources to feed yourselves? Is there discord in the house? Do you know how to resolve it? Waiting for people to go into those offices is part of the problem, because the people are
Yeah.
not going to go into the offices of their own volition. They will go into a police station.
You know, when I came back into elective politics in 2013, I remember there was a girl who used to work at Power 102, Felicia Valenzuela, I think, but that was her name. She
Yeah.
used to do a lot of videos to me. She had helped me do a lot of videos. And a lot of what the messages that I said was that local government people needed to do that, needed to take up that role, that extra role in the communities of being the lookout because they are the people who are going house to house on a daily basis during the campaigning and even after they've been elected. So they would be familiar with a lot of what's been happening in these communities and other these homes, especially as it relates to children. And I had made a call with the help of Felicia, and I'm sure Richard used to be part of those videos a lot of mornings. We used to do them in the tea room most times. Making that call to local government people to step in that role also. So it's something that local government people need to consider again.
But when that is going to happen, local government people need to be trained to do that.
Yeah.
It's not just anybody walking in and being a counselor or somebody offering remediation services.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. I hear you.
And that's why I said the Ministry of Social Development and the Ministry of Child, Gender, under the Prime Minister's office need to be training and hiring more social workers to go into the community, because people are not likely to leave their homes to go into those offices. It's not happening now. And many times the genesis of the issues is that the families are in distress in many different ways. And it's not being picked up, and it's manifesting in all sorts of antisocial behavior.
Right. So
I suppose it's how intervention
is what
is.
I was kind of dwelling on it, Paul. The issue of picking it up, because I agree with you. A lot of local government people are not trained in that aspect, but at least they would pick it up based on the fact that they've been going to these homes.
Yeah, the dysfunctionality and how interventionist the state can be, and timely in terms of intervention skills or intervention infrastructure in terms of the families that are going down that way. But I wanted to ask the other guests online, especially those with children. You know, Trinidad and Tobago seems to be becoming a more and more violent place in terms of all of the stories that we hear. And even last night on news, and which we talked about this morning, the 19-year-old boy being shot dead, going to drive this van for work, and just outside of his house, basically. How worried are you as parents in terms of your children's future in Trinidad and Tobago?
That's a good question.
Me personally, I am very worried. Very, very worried. Especially having a girl child. Some may say that I am overprotective, but I have to be, because I see these fellas as monsters outside there. I know what they're capable of. I see what they do. And believe me, it's very, very worrying. I have nephews that I am concerned about as well. But somehow or the other, boys tend to be a little more capable of defending themselves than girls. Girls are so much more at the risk of being targeted. So it's worrying for me.
Well, the 19-year-old wasn't able to defend himself. He got shot in his head. So I understand what you're saying, that boys have a tendency to be able to be physically more able to defend themselves. In this wrong with gun and knife, not so much,
Yeah, and true. Boys would be more targets in terms of that kind of criminal activity.
It's true, but
it's frightening, according to Richard.
Yeah. Well, Jerry, you have sons that you mentioned. What's your take on it? How worried are you?
That's scary. Very. I have no worries with them. I'm worried, and I tell them every day. You may be lying with friends, and you want to have a little misunderstanding with someone, and you don't know how to end up with boys, and you quarrel, let me know. I tell a big man, I tell if you want somebody to fall out, let me know. You know why? Because we don't know the intention of that individual down the road. Lots of me come and say, boy, me and Johnny quarrel on the football field about something, and next thing you know, Johnny gets a gun. Because Johnny ain't feeling embarrassed. You know? So I am very, very worried about it every day.
Yeah. All right.
Who else we have online there?
Julia Samantha. Good morning to you, Julia and Samantha out. Well, I did that. Evans out Maracas and Joseph. We have Doreen Pierre. Is that D Pierre? We have Kenny George. Good morning to you, Kenny George. Have a blessed weekend as well. Karen Bernard. Good morning to you. Have a fantastic weekend. I know those doubles are not for you. Rena Jennings, morning. Let's see. That's Nyla. Angie Benjamin. Good morning to you, Angie. How you going? Long time no see. Hope all is well. Zena Ramatali is on. Good morning, Zena. Anthony Benjamin also is logged on. Curtis Marcel, good morning.
Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis Marcel. Who's
Dean
that?
Allen. That's Dean Allen. D. Allen Projects is Dean Allen.
Okay, Dean Allen, morning to you. Oops, I lost my thing. Yeah, Dean Allen, good morning. Curtis Marcel, I did that. What else? Who else we have here? That's it.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, we have to get to our major news. So Oliver, Nyla, Jerry, Wendy Ann, good morning. I don't know what Wendell is showing us there.
I'm giving you the view of the front yard of where I am in Covington, Georgia.
Thanks, guys. Been good. Have a good one.
All right, Oliver. All the best. Have a great one.
So thank you so much to Oliver, Jerry, and Wendy Ann for joining us this morning, and of course my sister.
Yeah.
And I could swear I was looking at Richard, her mannerisms, her face, her head movement, her eyes, everything. I see Richard sitting down in front of me there. And I don't mind having Nyla as a co-host. I think she's very articulate and probably will add a little more, how I should put it, joie de vivre to the morning breakfast show. So Richard, you can take it easy. Or Paul, anyone.
Carry me, son.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I got to run to our news brief. I get into it. EV is in. And of course, a news brief all powered by Champlain Auto Services.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Opposition Senator Jayanti Lachmidial is facing the possibility of defending another defamation lawsuit from